content marketing.
Hmm.
So content marketing, what is content marketing now? Content marketing means attracting and transforming prospects into customers by creating and sharing valuable free content. Now, it is very important that what type of content we are creating and how is it available online. If it is free or paid,
Okay.
people would only like to spend on getting some content from you when you are a very high level or a very dependable source.
Mm-hmm.
So something like a report from malls.com, I might want to spend something on buying that content. But if you tell me to buy a content from any XYZ company, I will not do that. But I
Mm-hmm.
will be acceptable in absorbing free content from them. So we need to be very careful on what type of and how we are putting out the content for the customer. The content should be relevant to the business area and category also, so that the audience will remember and make selections accordingly. Now, there are some basic principles that we need to follow for content marketing. Good content fills a requirement. Now, if a content is not fulfilling a requirement, it is of no use. We are creating content only to fill a requirement.
Yes.
So it's very important that we reach out to that particular message through our content.
Mm-hmm.
Second principle is it communicates consistently. Now, if I'm putting out a marketing content once a month, I might not be able to reach my prospect customers.
Mm-hmm.
Why? The, the, the frequency of content being shared, created and shared online is very high today. So a content piece gets lost very soon. So it is very important that the type of content that you're creating is high end, is very crisp, short, but you need to share it frequently so that it remains in the eyes of the people and they can connect to the brand through it.
Okay.
Next principle is it requires you to find your unique and human voice. Now, uh, there are many tools that can help you, uh, post content automatically. So there are automation tools that are there in which you just have to select your keywords, and what it will do is it will search the entire internet for those keywords and post content selecting content by itself and creating a short tagline with it. There is a new tool in the market. I was reached out by a company called Nectar Social. They
Next
are
up.
having Nectar Social. So they have designed this new tool that is an automation tool for LinkedIn. And I was reached by those people to, to check with the tool and try out the tool once and give feedback about the tool. So what that tool does is it asks for permission for using LinkedIn and your information on LinkedIn. You need to set up a link, set up an automated posting of content, and you need to define certain keywords that you're looking for, or keywords that might be included in the type of content that I would like to share online.
Okay.
Okay, so what that does is then, if I put training as a keyword, it will search the entire LinkedIn for posts related to keywords training included in the title tag or the meta tag of the content. And
Okay.
whichever is trending, it will repost that content through my profile from my name. So I don't need to go online every time and post something. It will do it for me automatically. But the problem that is associated with tools like this is that you miss out on the human touch of content that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
It because it will have similar types of taglines or content post that will be created with the content, and it may or may not include certain type of hashtags that you want to include or not.
Okay.
So it is very important that if you're using such kind of tools, you need to keep a constant monitoring of what type of content is going out. So I personally did not like what they were sending out, because some of the posts were what I would like to share, but the others were something that I would not like to share.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to be on a constant watch of what is going out, because it's going out from my profile. And whatever is going out, people don't know that it is coming from an automated tool. For them, it is me who's posting. So it affects my, personality, my presence online. The next principle is express a point of view.
Mm-hmm.
A content needs to have a point of view for communicating a message to the people. So your content should be designed according to the particular point that you're trying to put out to people. It is devoid of sales speak. Okay, spread your story. Now, with so much of content coming online every day, it is very important that we create a story out of it and just not put information.
Mm-hmm.
Because information is available everywhere.
Yes.
What kind of story that you attach with your content helps in capturing people's attention. And the last principle that we need to be on is it recognizes the best of its breed. It's of its breed. So you need to create content that is the best in the category, or
Okay.
try and create a content that is best in the category. Try and include more information. Try and exclude more sales speak. Do not include direct selling,
Mm-hmm.
because it is very lowering for a content to include sales speech in it. Now the design layout and the designing part of content. So content layout is much more than just adding colors. It is the placement of the uh, content, and also the design of the web page that you are placing the content, that plays a very important part.
Okay.
If we see at a Google page, a landing page,
Mm-hmm.
or a Google home page, it has nothing, to be
Yeah.
very honest, on the page. But it is the most used page in the world.
Mm.
Why? Because it has minimum design, very simple layout, and it is very critically created. Now, when I say very critically created, I mean the places where the content is placed on that page. You have minimum content, but where is that place is very important.
Mm.
Now, according to many researches done, on the visual aids that are used by people, or the type of, you know, we as humans tend to follow a particular pattern of reading something.
Mm.
We read from left to right, right? And in Islam, or in
Yeah.
when you read Urdu,
Right.
they read from right to left.
Mm-hmm.
So it is very important that you understand what type of language you are using, and what will be the sequence of reading for a person who would be you are catering to. So what we as people who read English tend to do is we scan a particular landing page from left to right.
Yes.
So the first thing we'll look at a particular page will be something on the left,
Mm-hmm.
not right. That is why all your company logos are on the left.
Yes. Okay.
So it is not like a particular, someone gave a design guideline and we follow that blindly. it is a very critically done page that is designed by a content designer or something.
Okay.
Now your logo will always be on the left side of the page.
Mm-hmm.
Then we scan from left to right. So all your drop down menus or all your major high segments of your website will be placed from left to right, going towards right.
Okay.
Okay, so whenever you open up a website, all your menu bar will be on the top right corner,
Mm-hmm.
and your social media plugins would also be on the top right.
Okay. Yes.
Right, so this is what we mean by critical placement.
Okay.
Also, we use something called a heat map, if you know about it.
No.
What a heat map does is it checks the sequence of places and clicks a customer do while using a website page.
Okay.
So I'll just show you an example of a heat map. We'll cover that later also in detail.
Okay.
So this is what I'm talking about. So there are tools that we use to identify what are basic areas where a customer clicks maximum on a particular page. So this is a very good example of a heat map of Wikipedia. So
Okay.
now you can see what I was talking about. We go from left to right. So the major clicks or the major key, your mouse hovering is on the left side, top, and then right side bottom.
Mm-hmm.
This is how we design our website for maximum clicks.
Okay. What are the tools for this?
There are many tools that are available. So even Google Analytics also gives heat maps, but the basics are always same. So a basic layout of a website will always remain same. So if you're trying to create a new design of a website, it is very important that you test it before you launch it,
Mm-hmm.
because people would need some time to get used to a new design, and that might lead to dropouts.
Mm-hmm.
So it is very important that you test it first before making it live.
Okay.
So now a few tips to design and lay out your content. Evaluate layout using heat maps, as we discussed.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Very important. Okay. Use upper right quadrant or the foremost area people notice. So the upper right quadrant will be where you have the menu bar.
Menu bar. Okay. Okay.
Okay. And then inspire action with a horizontal navigation bar. Never would you see that there would be a navigation bar which is vertical. You
Mm-hmm.
always have your menu bar horizontally
Yes.
at the top. There is a reason, because we read from left to right.
Left to right.
So you will go from left to right reading the content. You will not go up from down reading a content.
Mm-hmm.
Then attracting attention with arrows and buttons and more. So now creating attractive CTAs is very important on a page. It is a very important part of a design. Okay. Designing for optimum usability.
Mm-hmm.
So we need to design our website so that it's highly usable by the audience. It is
Mm-hmm.
easy to understand, and it is very attractive for a person, or a very basic design, but an attractive design so that it has an ease of use. A very complicated website would not be easy to use. It might be very high on design part, but if it's not easy to use, people will drop out.
Mm-hmm.
The 10 steps checklist to analyze the usability of a new website. These are the 10 things that you need to take care of while you design a new website.
Okay.
So, have all the links on the website being examined for functionality. Any links that you're including on the website, any buttons that you're including, you need to check they are taking the people to the right place or they're
Okay.
landing on the right connected place so that people do not land on a wrong landing page and then drop out.
Mm-hmm.
Use CSS files, that is cascading style sheets,
Mm-hmm.
right? You must be knowing about it
Yes.
already. So, to maintain a, a comparative color scheme, to maintain what we say is to maintain a parallel design through all the pages, we suggest using CSS.
Okay.
Right? Then use alt text. Alt text is the alternative text available for any image that we are including in the content.
Mm-hmm.
We need, we must add alt text because just in case your image fails to load, people should know what you are trying to display in that particular area of that image.
Mm-hmm.
It also helps in search engines defining the image.
Okay. Yes.
So it helps in listing the content on search engines also. Are links expressive of what is being used or what the landing page is going to be? Now, the link of the landing page that we are trying to take people to should have a related name to it.
We also
The
check
URL.
this. We also check this list in off-page SEO too. Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
So, these would always be related to SEO because your website would only work if it is having good SEO,
Okay.
right? So, we need to do these checks so that the website lists on pages.
Mm-hmm.
So, it is a part of SEO only.
Okay.
Okay, so the links are expressive. They have a name that is related to the content on the landing page that you are taking them to. It is also easy to track your content once your landing page has a particular name or a specific name, so that when we run campaigns, when we run paid campaigns, it is easier to track the path that a person is following for going to a particular landing page.
Okay.
Does the site function simultaneously on various browsers, versions, monitors, and operating systems? Now we need to understand that Google might be a highly used platform, but it is not the only used platform, right? So we have Bing, we have Yahoo, we have Baidu, we have multiple browsers that are being used by people, multiple screen size, which we cover through responsive design. Okay, multiple operating systems that might be used by a person for using. Maybe he's using Android, maybe he's using Core to Duo, Intel's version, or maybe he's using different generation of a particular operating system.
Okay.
He might be using Windows 10, a person might
Mm-hmm.
be using Windows 7. So we need to make sure that your website functions equally on all the particular platforms and browsers.
Okay.
Can the navigation be followed and understood effortlessly? Navigation means the map that a website is following. Now, it is very important that we create a very well flowing website.
Mm-hmm.
Well flowing website would be, okay, I am marketing something on the first page, and then I want the person to click on a CTA and go to a specific page where you have given all the details about the product that you're trying to sell or that the customer is trying to buy. And then from there, you take him to a purchase page or a cart page, and then you do the purchase and you land out of it. And you end with a thank you page. So this is a navigation of this is the flow of an activity that you're trying to reach.
Mm-hmm.
This is also covered by funnels in Google Analytics. So we track the lifetime of a purchase through funnel analysis, which we'll be covering later.
Okay. Okay.
So for this, we need to know that your flow of content or the flow of traffic through website pages is very well done and maintained. If it is not well done or maintained, or in between there is a wrong page that is added, your prospect would fall out
Mm-hmm.
of the process and you would lose on revenue.
Okay.
So the next point is, can the navigation be followed and understood effectively? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Are text linked, underlined in blue? So there are some basic things that have been followed from long and is still being followed, and people identify a few things according to how they are being done over the years. So
Mm-hmm.
for any links that we share anywhere, you would see it is always bright blue in color and underlined. This is a basic understanding because blue, then again, is a neutral color that is visible to colorblind also.
Yes.
Okay, and that helps people understand that this is a link.
Okay.
It's an identity that has been associated with the link that is included in the text. So your text would be always in black or gray or any color, but your link would always be underlined and blue. Does individualized metadata exist on every page of the site? Now, metadata is something that is included in the header, and that this information helps the search bots list your content online.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to have a metadata or description or a title description on every page of the website. This should also include your keywords. Does Do you have a link at the home page on all the sub pages? So for any page that a customer is on the website, it
Mm-hmm.
should be linked to the home page. A
Okay.
customer
Mm-hmm.
should be able to reach the home page from anywhere and everywhere from your website. Are the URLs expressive of what is being found on every page? This was covered before also. Selling a copy, writing a copy that sells. So this is a formula that you might want to use while creating a copy of content that will sell your product.
Okay.
So this formula is called Convert Me formula.
Okay.
The Convert Me formula goes like this. C for capture. Capture
Mm-hmm.
users by writing a copy with a twist. A very
Mm-hmm.
flat copy will get boring.
Mm-hmm.
Capture the attention of a people with a very quirky or a very intelligent line to start with, so that people want to read what you have to say further. O for offer. Offer just one testimonial under the headline.
Okay.
Not have multiple things included in one sales pitch. So next is, now focus on your visitors. Next thing is, use traditional letter format or use basic formats to focus on your visitors. Know your visitors well. Know what type of people you are catering to.
What is the meaning of traditional letter formats?
Traditional letter formats is your font size that you're using.
Okay.
If you're using very creative font, people might not be able to read it properly. Okay, validate some facts such as showing industry percentage to reinforce the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Include facts in your content that helps in people understanding what is the importance of what you're trying to sell.
Okay.
Expose the resolution by precisely defining your product and how it works. Uh, Create a content that gives out the features of your content, tells people how your content works. Okay, what are the basic features that will be included in a particular product that you're trying to sell, so that it creates a product importance.
Okay.
Recapture the attention by not letting your visitors leave just because you unveiled the secret. Once you have launched a brand or you have launched a product, people, you need to recapture people who have been available or who have been there for the unveiling of the product. You need to reach back to people with specific content lines. Like, what we do is, if we are launching a new product, we give out the basics of the product in the first phase.
Okay.
Then in the second phase, we'll pick up one particular feature that is very important of that product and
Mm-hmm.
market that. Then a next feature, then a next feature. So what this helps is this lets the brand keep connected to the people, and people be interested in the features that are being unveiled every time.
Okay.
Then test for action by determining whether you're ready to whether the customer is ready to buy right now or not. First,
Okay.
provide information on the product, provide information on the sales service, provide information on everything that is available with the product.
Mm-hmm.
Then the CTA part comes. What do you want them to do? What do you want your customers to do once you provided the information? So that is by converting people from prospects to customers.
Customers. Okay.
Then you let them take an action.
Mm-hmm.
It may or may not lead to conversion, but you would know the percentage of people who are ready to convert,
Mm-hmm.
and you can plan your marketing accordingly. Then
Okay.
motivate the value and urgency.
Hmm.
Emphasize on the value of the product and the urgency of the customer who needs that product. Why is it urgent that you buy my product?
Mm-hmm.
Emphasize on that part. So energize visitors to buy
Mm-hmm.
by giving them assurance that the offer is really good and it is for a short period of time.
Hmm.
So the
Okay.
sale, right? Amazon sale, this sale, that sale coming in. So we are giving you very good deals. So buy it right now. That
Mm-hmm.
so this covers the convert me model.
Okay.
This is a very basic model, but a very effective model because it covers all the aspects of content design.